So at the start of every single NHL season, EA Sports decides to do a simulation on their most recent NHL game release to see what the game thinks the champion that season will be. And most of the time, these simulations give a bit of a kooky result. Something that seems that ain't right. Now, they've just released a simulation here on day one of the NHL season, and I was looking at it, and it's actually not horrible considering what happened throughout the season. Maybe only one move. I'm not going to point out which one, may be a bit questionable, but I think it was a pretty decent simulation. I'm not going to say it's not realistic, but I'm not going to say that it's not unrealistic. So with that in mind, I said, hey, I'm going to try my own simulation and heck, see what happens. So with that in mind, let's get to the simulation. All right, everyone. So here we are in the NHL 26 season mode lobby. I will be taking control of the Ottawa Senators because they are my team. I want to get right into it. So let's start the simulation. So here we are at the end of the season, and judging by what you see to my left, having Thomas Chabot as the Ottawa Senators point leader, that's not a good sign for the Senators season. So let's take a look at the standings. And yeah, what a simulation this is. The Buffalo Sabres win the Atlantic Division. I don't know about this one, man. I don't think anyone knows about this. The Boston Bruins also making the playoffs, coming off one of their worst seasons in most recent times. That's a bit surprising to me too. Tampa, Florida, Toronto being there, fine. But yeah, Buffalo, I'm going to have to throw a yellow flag here. I don't really know what to expect from this. Okay, I moved myself over here. I felt more comfortable over here. But the Devils being first in the Met with 98 points. That also means that the Sabres finished top of the East. I don't think people are going to like this very much. I really don't. But also Pittsburgh making it. Is that the Crosby voodoo in this game? I don't really know. But over, Carolina, what happened to Carolina? What is going on in this? What is going on? I didn't do anything. I promise. What is happening? So then we go over to the Central, and I mean, Nashville being where they are is maybe the only question mark here. Minnesota where they are, also a bit questionable. But overall, it looks pretty decent. It looks pretty decent. Winnipeg having the season like they did last year with that's fine with me. Dallas as well having a decent year, that's good. Central's not bad. Maybe Nashville's in the wrong spot, but maybe that's where Nashville should be, especially where people said Nashville is where they should be here last year, but they didn't end up there. So I don't know. Maybe this is an improvement for Nashville. Heck, who knows? And we end our way in the Pacific with the Oilers being on top. Again, not surprising. Vegas, Vancouver, surprisingly sliding on in there after whatever happened last year with them. LA being the shocker here. LA being the shocker. And what I mean by that is they made the playoffs last year. They have a great team, young guys that are coming up. I know their goaltending isn't all the best, but only 76 points is a bit shocking to me for LA. That's all I gotta say. Now, before we get into whatever happens in the playoffs, I do want to show point totals here, maybe also the top goaltenders. So Austin Matthews with 55 goals and 64 assists for 119 points. That is pretty incredible. And okay, now I see why Boston did so good, because Pasternak had 106 points. I'm not surprised if he does that this year, but I just don't think that they'll make the playoffs in my opinion. But then Crosby with 95 on that Pittsburgh team. 95 points though on the team that they have this year. That doesn't really cut it for me. But Brad Marchand, look at this. 93 points on the Panthers. That's pretty impressive. And then just looking at the goalies, there's the second name on this list is already shocking in my opinion. Hellebuck being up there, that's not surprising. But how about Kirill Vemeka? I believe that's how you say his name. Being second in wins in the league. He did play 71 games. I don't think that would happen in real life, but playing 71 games in today's NHL is very impressive, and that's probably why he has 41 wins. Because if you look at his losses, it's not really impressive. But Ottinger being there, Vasilevsky being there, I think Wolf kind of sliding in there, that's a bit of a surprise. And then we want to look at top defenseman Josh Morrissey, one of the best defensemen currently in the league. Leads this league in points with 89, 73 assists. Wow, that's impressive. Beats out Cale Makar for 81 points. Rasmus Dahlin, probably a big factor of why Buffalo did so good. 80 points for him. Very impressive stuff from him. And how about this? Roman Josi with 29 goals on the season. The guy almost had a 30-goal season. 30 goals. That is quite impressive stuff right there, in my opinion. And like I kind of said for Dahlin, probably the reason why Nashville got into playoffs in this save. And for those who want to know, top rookie skaters, Demidov leads the way with 60 points. Absolutely blows Ryan Leonard out the water by half, basically half the points. So very impressive stuff by Demidov in his first full rookie season. Although he did carry a -8, so defensively might not be the best guy. All right, so with all the regular season all wrapped up there, it's now time for this, the Stanley Cup playoffs. Looking at the series, I mean, Washington-Pittsburgh, what a classic series that is. Toronto being in the wild card playing New Jersey, a bit of a weird one, a bit of one that you wouldn't really expect to see, but it's here. Florida, Tampa Bay, seeing what happened in the preseason, this would just be way more intense. And then Buffalo and Boston, what an absolute, if this was real life, it would be an absolute throwaway series. No one would really watch it. I don't care how good Buffalo would do. This would not be watched at all. Over in the West, we got Nashville, Dallas. That's a bit of a closer series. I mean, judging by how the teams did. Last year, maybe not the best series for Nashville, but nonetheless. Next, we got Winnipeg's Kryptonite in the Colorado Avalanche. That would be a tough one. I think that might go the distance. I'd be surprised if it does not go 7. Vegas, Vancouver. I think this would be a pretty interesting one. In real life, I feel like Vegas would have the upper hand, so in this round, I'd probably take them. And then the Blues taking on the Oilers. One that you kind of like the Devils and the Leafs. You wouldn't really expect to see that. You would not really expect to see that in the league currently. It's possible, but it's not a common series that we always see. But anyways, let's sim round 1. All right, so I just simmed round 1. Here is round 2. Starting off with the immediate thought when I looked into the top left corner. Nashville beat Dallas in 7. This simulation is already crazy. I would not think to expect this, but in this one, you kind of have to expect this. Colorado taking down Winnipeg in 5. Surprised it didn't go 7 like I said, but to be honest with you, I feel like this could also happen in real life, judging Winnipeg's playoff issues and their kryptonite with Colorado. And then Vegas beating Vancouver in 7. And Edmonton winning this series, probably not big surprises there. I would have expected them to meet in that box. Over to the East. Buffalo beat Boston in 7. Judging by how bad those teams are in real life and how crazy the simulation is, again, kind of expected. Florida taking down Tampa in 7 as well. An absolute bloodbath. That series would have been nuts. But I think the right team won with Florida. I think we all expect that. The Leafs losing in round 1, that's expected. 5 games, though, they'd be booed off the ice again. Obviously, they wouldn't be the home side in that series, but they probably would have been booed off even if they were on the road. And then Pittsburgh beating Washington in 7. I don't think that would happen this year, but hey, whatever. Let's continue this crazy simulation and then go to the conference final. Okay, Nashville is yet again on a superior run. I don't know. I just don't know what's happened. Swept. They swept the Avalanche. I don't know what's happening. Meanwhile, the Edmonton Oilers coming through Vegas like it's nothing. Bit of a shocker there, but they meet in the conference final. If I saw this year, I'd be stunned. I'd honestly be stunned. The right team won, and rightfully so. I know it took 7, and I can't believe Buffalo lasted that long, but the right team won. Plain and simple. And I'd expect that in real life. I really would. 4-zip sweep, I'd expect that. Although, these two series, I mean, I feel like we could be onto something here for a 3rd straight year. If you know what I'm talking about, you know, you probably know. Let's see who meets in that box above my head. All right, in a shocker, I was wrong, but not by much. Yep, 7-game series between those two sides, and Florida would lose. I don't think that would happen, but it's how the simulation's going. Plain and simple. Yeah, so the Devils, second best team in the East, apparently, judging by division seeding. They're on to the final. They face off against the Oilers, who have only lost 2 games in this playoff. Yep, they are 12-2. Let's get over and sim the games. I'm actually going to go into the simulation system and see how these games go. Okay, so being a Canadian, I'm picking the Oilers. Like I said, I'm a Canadian. I wanted them to win the last 2 years. They did not. Let's hope third time's the charm for the Oilers. Let's get into game 1. Okay, I'm just going to go sim period by period. Obviously, it's going up above, but I just want to get this over with, so we're going to go period by period here. Edmonton strikes first as Kasperi Kapanen gets the first goal of the series. Period 2, ooh, it's still a 1-goal game. Period 3, Edmonton holds on to win. They got a game 1 victory. On to game 2. Here we go. First period. Ooh, the Devils take the lead on a last 2-minute goal there from Noesen. Still close series. Such a close series. This would be such a... I mean, Edmonton's coming back here, so let's see if they get it done. They do! Oh, Trent Frederick with a late goal there. Overtime now. Overtime. Let's see it. Oh, and the Devils. Jack Hughes on the power play ties this series up at 1. Heading back to New Jersey. Game 3. Let's see what's up. Here we go. Game 3 at the Rock. Let's see it. 0-0 through 1. All right. Period 2. Ooh, it's still time. What a close. This would actually be a legitimate good watch on TV. In my opinion, it would be. Period number 3. Oh, the Oilers come out crazy. Draisaitl and Max Jones gets a late one, and then Draisaitl into the empty net. Oilers grab the 2-1 series lead. Let's head to game 4. Oilers can put the Devils on the brink here in game 4 on the road, starting with period 1. The Devils. Connor Brown has scored 2 goals in the series. I've lost count, but at least 2. He's doing pretty good against this former team. Up to period 2 now. Still 2-1. Very close. This series has been really close. Period number 3. Will the series be tied, or will Edmonton go back with a chance to win it? Oh my God. If I was a Devils fan and I just watched the last 2-3 periods, I'd be upset. I'd be upset if I lost the last 2 third periods. 3 goals against in each period. I mean, one was an empty netter, but nonetheless, you've been outscored 6-0 in the third period in the last 2 games. At home. At home. Incredible stuff. Edmonton goes back with a chance to win the Stanley Cup. Okay, so with Edmonton with a chance to win it here, I will just let the third period kind of sim out, see how it all plays down, and maybe we'll hop in if they're winning. But nonetheless, let's start with period 1. No score there. Ooh, but look at the shots. 4-8. Not very good for Edmonton. Period number 2. 2-2 tie. Edmonton got 2 goals quick. Edmonton got 2 goals quick. New Jersey came back with 2 goals on their own. All right, we're just going to play. We are just going to play the third period out. We're going to times 8 speed, I think it is. And we're going to see how it plays out. And I'll join if the game is close, or if New Jersey, or if Edmonton, sorry, wins or gets close. Or if it goes to overtime. We'll play out the overtime. Why not? It's getting close. Late power play, no. We go to overtime. All right, we're going to hop into this game. Let's see if Edmonton wins the cup. Okay, here we go in overtime in Edmonton. This one's all for the marbles here for Edmonton. Obviously, we got the broadcast camera. This is actually horrible, but we'll see. Spires, it's blocked. Back to Nugent Hopkins. He winds it. That goes to the corner. Mangiapane. Jacques Boucher scores! There it is! Evan Boucher with the goal! And the Edmonton Oilers, third time's the charm. They win the Stanley Cup. And it's just Evan Bouchard with just a crazy shot. And here's Leon Draisaitl. There he is. He had 25 points, 8 goals, 17 assists in the playoffs to win the Conn Smythe over his teammate Connor McDavid. But we all know Connor McDavid wants to lift that bad boy right there. The Edmonton Oilers win the Stanley Cup. So Oilers fans, I mean, I think you'd like this video. You'd have to like this video if you just saw that. I mean, playing the Devils might be unrealistic, but I mean, hey, you get the cup. So what's there's not much to complain about there. So Edmonton, in this simulation, wins it in 5 games. Connor McDavid raises the Stanley Cup. So the Oilers get their photo taken. They have a celebration in the locker room for winning their first Stanley Cup after 3 attempts in the last 3 years. They get their names etched on that Stanley Cup, and they are the Zuck TV 2026 NHL 26 season simulation winners. That name was way too long. I hate that name. I hope I don't ever say that again. But hey, what a crazy simulation this was. Definitely not as close as what EA did, which makes me wonder, did EA really simulate in their game? Makes you wonder. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like on this video if you have not yet. Make sure also to subscribe to the channel if you have not yet, as we'll be doing more NHL content throughout this season. And make sure to click the bell to be notified of when I post next, because I'll be posting more NHL content as the season goes on. Anyways, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the hockey. Peace.